Hello everyone, my name is Amrita Kare. I am here to explain the socket network from computer network. You should know that sockets are building blocks for many network applications, providing consistent way for programs to interact across network. We will start with the definition and let's see what is the socket. An endpoint of a two-way communication link. A socket is a one point of two-way communication link between two programs running on the network, used in client server communication and bound to port. Basically, the socket mechanism provides a means of inter-process communication, means IPC, by establishing named contact points between which the communication take place. This is the diagram of socket, how it helps to communicate between client and server. Basically, it shows the interaction or sending data, receiving data process between client and server. Client and server are nothing but the source and destination. Source is client and destination is a server. Let's see the needs of sockets. Sockets are crucial for network communication because they act as endpoints for sending and receiving data between applications, enabling them to interact with each other, whether on the same machine or across a network. It is used for many methods and they facilitates the exchange of information, allowing for tasks like file transfer, web browsing and email communication. It is also needed for establishing connection if the connection is ended, data exchange, uh, exchanging data is in that, client and server interaction, and fourth one is inter-process communication. These are the examples of sockets that used for web browsing. For browsing, we use web sockets, email, file transfer, and online gamings. All rely on sockets for their functionality. So, these are the types of sockets. There are many types of sockets, but we mainly need two types of sockets, that are datagram socket and second one is stream socket. Let's see these all sockets. First one is adjustable multi sockets, second one is pass through sockets, third one is spark plug sockets, fourth is impact sockets, fifth is socket bit, sixth is hex sockets, seventh is package sequenced sockets, eighth is raw sockets, ninth is datagram sockets, and 10th is stream socket. Basically, these 10 are types of sockets, but we mainly need stream socket and datagram socket. Let's see the datagram socket in detail. A datagram socket is a type of network socket that facilitates connectionless communication using user datagram protocol, that is UDP. Unlike stream sockets, which use TCP and are connection oriented, datagram sockets send data in individual packet, for example datagrams, without establishing a precedent connection. This means each packet is treated independently and there is no guarantee of arrival, order, or reliability. This is a type of network which has a connectionless point for sending and receiving packets. It is similar to mailbox. The letter box that posted into the box are collected and delivered or transmitted to letterbox receiving socket. Second one is stream socket. A stream socket is a type of network socket that facilitates reliable connection oriented and bidirectional communication between two endpoints over a network. In a computer operating system, a stream socket is a type of interprocess communication socket or a network socket which provides a connection oriented, sequenced and unique flow of data. It uses the transmission control protocol, that is TCP, to ensure data is delivered in order and without errors. Stream sockets are ideal for applications requiring guaranteed data delivery such as a file transfer, web browser and mail. Basically, file transfer, web browser and email is a main example of sockets. Sockets in socket primitives in client server interaction. Let's see what are these primitives in client server interaction. Then we will see one by one functions of these sockets. In client server interaction, socket primitives are the fundamental operations that allow client and server programs to communicate over a network. These primitives, often system calls, defines how sockets are created, connected, used for sending and receiving data, and ultimately closed. So this is the explanation of socket primitive in client server interaction. These are the functions that used in socket primitives. First one is socket. This function creates a new socket returning a file descriptor that represents the endpoint of communication. Second one is bind. The function associates the socket with the specific address, that is IP address and port number. Servers typically bind to a well-known port to listen for client connection, while clients can bind to a local port. Third one is listen. This function puts the socket into a listening state, indicating that the server is ready to accept incoming connection request from client. Fourth one is accept function. The accept function is used by the server to wait for and accept a connection request from client. Once a connection is accepted, a new socket descriptor is returned for that specific client connection. Fifth one is connect. So connect function is used by the client to establish connection to server. The client provides server's address and the connection function. Connect bracket is a function attempt to establish a TCP connection. Sixth one is send and receive function. For sending we use send bracket function, and for receiving we use recv bracket. This method. So basically used for transmitting and receiving data over the established socket connection. The last and final method function is a close function. It closes the socket connection, realizing any resources associated with it. When a client or server is done communicating, it should close the socket connection. For that we use close method. So that is it for today, and I hope you all are known about sockets, and details of sockets are understanding for you now. Thank you.